Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back. So, what do we have this weekend? Well, Bitcoin didn't do so well. I didn't think it was going to do that well either, but we had other stories that come along. We had the United States using its Air Force and bombing some Iran sites. So that drove Bitcoin down even more. Markets are now in the red, pre-hours basically, and oil is going up like crazy. So that's what's going on over the weekend. But I hope you guys had a great weekend. I did. It was nice where I live. It was in the 90s, and I greatly enjoyed the time outside with my kids, my family. We had a great time. Got probably a little bit too much sun, though. My head is kind of feeling a little bit burnt. But other than that, we got talk about Bitcoin, what's going on there. We'll talk about Bitcoin miners as well, as far as how did they do last week against Bitcoin. We'll also take a look at something else I was going to take a look at. Oh, Texas approved or signed the bill of SBR into law. So now Texas like full on SBR, which is great news there. We also have some other things we're going to get into. Then Q&A. Should be pretty short and sweet here. Shouldn't be too long, but let's get into it here. But first, we got to go through this. Not financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. Time is money. Let's get into it here really quick with what's going on with what's going on in Bitcoin. All right, here we go. So Bitcoin is obviously over the weekend it was down. We were down on Friday. So we broke below the 50-day simple moving average here, right? This was back on Friday here. We closed at 103,000. At that point, I said, yeah, if we're going to be, breaking this support here that was acting as support at least for a little bit. If we break that, we're going down probably to like 103,000. Sure enough, we went down there more or less. We came down some more on Saturday. We were down another 1.12%. We closed at 102,000. Sunday, we were down another 1.14%. Closed at 100,996. We were lower. We got down to a low of 98,225, all because of U.S. getting involved with Iran and Israel there. So we'll see how that's going to play out, see if there's going to be any retaliation attacks by Iran on the United States or any of its bases there. We'll see what happens there. And if nothing happens, maybe this will be the end of it. Who knows? We'll see. But this opportunity is a buying opportunity, in my opinion, at least. We've seen this before. We've seen this when Russia invaded Ukraine back in 2022. Right? We saw a dip in Bitcoin price. We saw a dip in the markets as well. That was a buying opportunity at that point. We saw it also here recently, back in, when was it, last year? I'm going back to when Israel got attacked. We had a dip on that, and things went back up, right? This is a dip. This is just basically fear, FOMO, uncertainty, everything else that you want to put into it by, I think it's more retail than anything else driving this. They're panicking. Yes, in the short term, probably gas prices are going to go up as the price of crude is going to be going up as well. Iran has stated that they are looking to possibly cut off the the Strait of it's a strait. I can't remember the name of the strait there, but it's a body of water that they control basically, and they can cut off the flow of tankers and cargo and all that stuff through that strait. And I think it's like 25% of the freight moves through that area, water-based freight. So that's going to put a little squeeze on it if they do that. But I think if they do that, then obviously the U.S. and its allies will do something in order to remedy that, right? And Muddy Oaks Homestead says Strait of Hormuz. Thank you. So it's the Strait of Hormuz. So we'll see what's going to happen. What's going to happen here in the next couple of days? There's a lot of stuff that's happening, obviously, right now. The strikes look like they were successful. Hopefully this is it. Hopefully we get nothing else. And if that's all it is going to be, then we're going to bounce like crazy here. So this is a buying opportunity, in my opinion. I am going to be starting to buy more Bitcoin here. I like the amount that I have Bitcoin that I have, but I want to have more. So I'm going to start buying some more Bitcoin here as time progresses here. Probably starting in July, I'm going to just set up a automatic buy for Bitcoin. Maybe I'll even do this week. I'll see. Where it's just I'm buying either $50 to $100 a week. I'm just buying Bitcoin regardless of what the price is. I'm going to continue to dollar cost average into that. Hopefully get a lot more Bitcoin over time. It's going to take a while, right? Bitcoin 100,000. It's not going to make a big difference if I buy $50 to $100 a week, but it's still going to be continuing to buy that because otherwise I'm going to be probably wasting the money anyways on something my kids want, something my wife wants. But if the money's gone, I can't spend it on something else. So that's what I'm going to be doing on that. Also, I'm going to be looking to buy some more stocks this week. I'm going to be looking to buy into possibly some more IREN and Cleanspark as well. I finally got everything settled with all the expenses that I've had here recently, right? Taxes, vacation, property taxes, new roof being put on, having to pay the deductible on that. So all my expenses are done for. Finally, it's been a long time. It's been a couple months since I've been able to buy here. So I'm looking to get back in and buying again. I'm going to be buying back in this week as well. It looks like maybe we'll have a little bit of a dip tomorrow, but we'll see. All right, getting back into Bitcoin here really quick. Bitcoin on the CME futures does have a gap here to the upside, which is actually pretty good, which might mean that we might fill this little gap here, which isn't too far off. It's at 102,370, right from the gap here of 101,635, roughly more or less. We might fill that and then go back down here. And as long as we stay, let me see, where's it at? As long as we stay above the 200 simple day moving average, we'll be okay still, right? As long as we stay above this line here, the green line, or at least bounce on it going forward, which then that would put us right around 96,000, I think it is. Yeah, 96,000, more or less. So we could dip down to that, but as long as we stay above that, I think we'll be okay. And we do have, it looks like the 100 simple day moving average is getting ready to cross again with the 200 simple day moving average. So that might be a good timing there, possibly. We'll see. All right. As far as Bitcoin, I mean, we'll see what it does tomorrow. I mean, right now on the 4-hour chart, it does look like it's way oversold here. Last time we were way oversold on Bitcoin was back, or at least at this level. We're actually gonna go all the way back here to April of 2025 on the 4-hour chart at least. And at that point, the price was at 74,000. So that bodes pretty well for us. If Bitcoin stays where it's at right now, doesn't fall too much further, I mean, we could fall a little bit more, but on the 4-hour chart, this looks good. The RSI definitely came way down here. We definitely bounced off of that. So that's looking pretty good here. We'll see if we fall. If we fall, like I said, I think we're going to go down to like maybe 95, 96,000, something like that. Possibly bounce off of that and hold that 200 simple day moving average support here going forward, which then would get us up price going forward. All right, miners obviously weren't trading over the weekend here. We do have Fireside investors providing us with the data for the Bitcoin ETFs. Those have been buying here, and they bought, well, at least BlackRock bought in just a little bit more than what Fidelity was selling here. Fidelity sold 40.5 million. BlackRock bought 46.9, so that's good. We still have a positive inflow of Bitcoin, even though we had a red day on Bitcoin. The ETFs are buying, right? So smart money's buying it. Retail is capitulating, fearful, FOMOing out of this stuff, which is not good. All right, next here really quick. Bitcoin dominance is at its highest level since January 2021. What's happening? Well, you're also seeing altcoins getting destroyed as well. That's leading to Bitcoin dominance increasing, right? Because people are going to basically safety more or less. Bitcoin is more safe than some of these altcoins here. So we're seeing that as well. It's at 65.79%, and this was just as of a couple hours ago. I think you're going to continue to see that. The dominance is just going to continue to increase. Bitcoin is just taking the oxygen out of the room, basically, with all the other altcoins, with all the adoption. States, governments, countries, companies, everything that's buying up Bitcoin right now is just taking the dominance away from everything else, which is great. I love seeing that. And then here we have breaking Texas Strategic Bitcoin Reserve officially signed into law. So I believe this was by Governor Greg. What's his name there? Greg Abbott, I believe is his name, signed the bill into law. So they now have an SBR in place for Texas, which is fantastic. He either was going to sign it or he didn't have to sign it, and the bill would still go into law if he didn't sign it, as long as he didn't veto it. So it went into law, which is great. So we got that going on for us. And then finally here, another good news here is Mexican billionaire Ricardo Salinas says Bitcoin will be more valuable than gold. Bitcoin is a new global reserve asset. We're seeing that definitely a lot more these days, I think, than we have definitely in the past here. So Bitcoin eventually, I mean, gosh, that's going to be, it's still a ways off, but if it's going to be worth more than gold, we're looking at Bitcoin at a couple $1 million there. So I'm ready for it. I can wait another couple more years to get there. I'm sure you guys can too. And it'll be all worth it in the long run, right? If we can't utilize Bitcoin when it is that high, maybe our significant others or our kids can utilize it, and they'll be better off because of it. So you're not just doing it for yourself, you're also doing it for your family in general, basically. That point. All right. But that's all the news stories that I have here for you guys. We'll see where Bitcoin goes and everything else. I think we're going to be okay. I think this is the time to buy, like I said. I'm not worried about this. We've been through this before. If you're a long-term hodler, if you have a long-term outlook as well, you'll do fine. It's just we do have these, short-term deviations in the plan of Bitcoin going up. We have these pullbacks and it happens. So it is what it is. All right, let's get into the miners here really quick. Where do I want to go? I want to go on the weekly here. Where's my weekly chart? There it is. All right, so on this one, we always look on Sundays here. We just take a look at to see where the miners are from their 52-week lows to their 52-week highs, and from how far away they are from the 52-week highs here. We can see that right now, Strategy is the only one that has been doing really well here in the last 52 weeks from its 52-week bottoms. It's up 261%. Bitcoin's up 110% from its bottom. BitDeer is the closest to Bitcoin here at 108%. IREN pretty close there as well, 104%. Cypher 103%. Then you got CORZ 91%, along with Hot 8. Then you got Riot 54, Marathon 46, Cleanspark 39%, Hive 34, Bitfarms 15% on that one. So yeah, a lot of the miners have not done that well this last 52 weeks, I would say. Even you could probably even say, I would say a year. This last year they have not done great. Ever since we had the halving event, they were just in the crapper basically. For the most part, except for the ones who were playing in the HPCI space. But going down here, looking at the last week, how did Bitcoin do against the miners? Well, miners did a little bit better, at least some of them did. IREN was up 7% on the week, even though we were down on Friday on Bitcoin. Cypher was up 2%, Core was basically flat, Riot was down 2%, Bitcoin was down 3% for the week, and I track Friday to Friday as always. Cleanspark and Strategy were in line with Bitcoin here, being down 3%. Hot 8 was down 4, Marathon was down 5, Bitfarms was down 8, Hive down 10, BitDeer down 11%. Things changed a little bit here on us at the 4 weeks. We do have quite a few outperforming here Bitcoin even in the 4 weeks here. Bitcoin's down 1% in the 4 weeks. IREN is up 25%, Cypher 21, Riot up 18, Core up 11%. You got Cleanspark being up 4%, Hot 8 up 9%, and you got some that have underperformed, Bitfarms, Hive, and BitDeer as well. On the 8 weeks, we can see now Bitcoin's up 7%. IREN's had a nice run here recently, up 60%. Definitely want to buy some more of that one. Cypher was up 20, Core up 36, and Hot 8 was up 21%. Bitfarms was down 24%, Riot up 14, Bitcoin's only up 7, like I said. Cleanspark underperforming here 2%, and Strategy's down actually 6% here. On that one, in 12 weeks, well, things look again different. At this point, Bitcoin's up 23%. So we have IREN, Cypher doing really well. Cypher especially here. Core up 65%, Riot up 34%, Strategy up 26%, just a little bit better than Bitcoin with 23% there. Hut 8 up 47%, BitDeer up 40%. So a lot of the miners have done pretty good here in the last, you could say, 12 to 16 weeks or so. But yeah, that's it for the miners here. We'll see. I mean, we got basically what? Today's June 22nd. We have roughly another, 9 days of trading, more or less, on Bitcoin, and about, what is that going to be? 7 more days of trading on the miners for this week, for this year. So we'll see where we end up at. Right now, I think we are still in the red. Yep, for June, we are in the red for Bitcoin as it is right now. So, and historically, Bitcoin does pretty well in July and August in a bull run, which we would be here, right? 2025 should be our bull run year. 2021 was the prior one, and 2017 as well, and 2013 at that point. And usually, Bitcoin does pretty good on those bull runs. Bull run years. So we'll see. Like I said, don't let this fear and everything else get you to sell Bitcoin, because if you're selling Bitcoin, you're getting cash, and then you're going to be buying it in probably at a higher level. Why do that? Hold on to it, and you'll be much better off in the long run, I think. But that's just my take on it. Not financial advice as always. All right, let's get into Q&A, see what you guys have to say, what your thoughts are. Right now, on the poll that we have running, it looks like 65% of you say no, Bitcoin will not get to 95,000 later on this week. So that's actually, a lot of you guys are still bullish on it, which is kind of nice. Yeah, will Bitcoin fall below 95,000 this week? 65% of you are saying no. So that's great. All right, where am I at? I want to go to Q&A. Let's go here. Let's see where we are. Bitcoin's at $101,000 and $130. We're not doing too bad here, all things considered. All right, let me see if there's any questions here. If you guys could preface your questions with a question mark or a Q, I'd appreciate it. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Metaplanet says, looks like the recent adoption doesn't mean anything, but still means quite a bit, I think. Well, I still think it means a lot, right? But it's not going to be like, yeah, we have this adoption, we're going from 100 to 150,000 in 3 days. It's not going to happen. We're going to be on a bouncy roller coaster ride a little bit all the way there. Muddy Oak says, I think the bottom is in myself. I think we're close to it as well. CJ says, buy the dip hard. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could spend tens of thousands of dollars on Bitcoin, but I can't, so I'll be buying a little bit. Okay, Muddy says, I put my money where my mouth is. LOL, bought at 98.5. Very nice. Sadie, thank you so much for the thumbs up, as always. Let's see, what do you think about the Bitfarms class action lawsuit? Oh, I've talked about this in the past. We'll see how it works out. I mean, the other time, I don't like these lawsuits at all. It's just basically lawyers looking for, chasing the ambulances, basically. I'm not a big fan of those. You, as an investor, should be, unless there's absolutely 100% certain that there is something nefarious going on in the management and behind the scenes, and you got, rug pulled because of it. Okay, yeah, sue them for that because they didn't do their fiduciary duties to the shareholders. Go ahead and do that. But for the most part, we're all big boys and girls here. We should be able to take our gains and beatings as well. Noel says here, Trump has a bill that raises the deficit, implemented tariffs, and has dragged us into a conflict. All things Republicans don't like. It'll be a miracle if they win. Yeah, he's got to really turn things around in the next basically year in order for them to have a chance there. All right. Hello, Bomb says U.S. Navy moving nearby, so the Strait of Hormuz there. Yeah, I think they're going to try to prevent that from happening, from the strait being closed off. Neville says, IREN will most definitely try retaliating before they come to their negotiating table. This will not end at the strikes. They'll try to affect the price of oil. Yeah, we could see that. But I mean, their skies are pretty much open. They don't have much of a defense there. I mean, they kind of know, but they have to basically appear like they're bigger and stronger than they really are, I think, right? So a lot of it is just grandstanding, I think, most of it, but we'll see. Sadie, again, thank you so much for likes for this special. Greatly appreciate it. Let's see. Somebody says, agree with Salinas about Bitcoin global reserve currency. Big question is, what blockchain network will become the global financial transaction network? It will either be ETH or Sol, in my opinion. Thoughts? For transactions, I mean, you could do transactions on Bitcoin too on the Lightning Network. I mean, we're seeing more and more companies getting into that as well. So I'm not counting Bitcoin out as possibly being that financial transaction network if we get stuff done on Lightning Network even. But it could be there, right? Bitcoin could become the gold standard, more or less, the store of gold or gold value in comparison to gold. And then you could have something like Ethereum or Solana be like the cash version of it, more or less. Possible. All right, it says the global M2 shows around 115,000 soon. Yep, I mean, we're still seeing that going up. All right. MegaCon says, Bitfarms is the worst performer. Is it still worth holding or rotating to IREN? Not financial advice. As you guys know, maybe, I don't know when you joined here, but I've had Bitfarms for, a long time. I sold 2/3 of my position back in November and December of last year when they were starting to inform us that their plans, to reach 21 exahash were being moved out another 6 months. And then we finally learned that they were going to be getting to like 18, 19 exahash or something like that as the final amount there. So that's when I started selling off here. Depending when you got into it, it's going to be up to you. I would say I think IREN has a better shot of moving forward. Obviously, much higher hash rate, right? 50 exahash. They also have huge megawatts available to them. They're also working on HPCI stuff. Bitfarms is as well, but I think possibly IREN might get something before Bitfarms does. That would be my thought on it. So that's completely up to you. All I'm going to say is I want to buy more IREN later on this week. All right. What benefit is there for investors to keep manipulating the miners and keep price low? Good question. The thing that we're seeing, obviously, is the miners are being accumulated by institutions. We're seeing that more. Well, we've been seeing it over the past year and plus. So it seems like retail is computing, but institutions might know. I mean, they probably have a pretty good guess. Bitcoin price is going to be going up. They can kind of run the numbers on it, see where the miners are going to be at that point, and they'll eventually let them run back up. right now you're having institutions go long on something and hedge their bets and go short on the Bitcoin miners for the most part. We're seeing that as well. We've also seen the miners dilute a lot, right? That hasn't helped their case either for having the stock go up when you do that. So we shall see in the long run. In the next 6 months, I think it'll be time to see if Bitcoin can get to like 150,000, 200,000, whatever it might be, and then see where the miners are also at that point. It says in the red on Riot, can't help but keep stacking. Okay, Riot has been doing a little bit better here recently, so that's kind of nice to see. But yeah, we'll see how they do going forward as well. See if they can get a kind of a HPCI deal there as well. Alexander Hawk has a question. Sebastian, when do you think every geopolitical event BTC will pump instead of dump? That would be a logical response. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're there yet. I think we still need a little bit more time for that to happen. I think maybe in the next 5 to 10 years we might see that. You know, it could be also the shorts, right? The shorts do have quite a bit of power in the markets, and anytime there's geopolitical tension, any like war concerns or anything like that, they will use that to their advantage, and they will try to dump something down and, you know, spoke fear into people's hearts and bring things down. Muddy Oak says, Hawk, when BTC finally is looked as a safe haven right now, it's still a risk asset. Yeah, but we're getting closer to that safe haven. I think we're seeing that more and more. RDJ says, question, global hash rate drop significantly, must be good for the miners. Yes, that is good for the miners. Yep, we saw that dip to about 670 exahash over when the strikes were happening, or after the strikes. So there was some speculation on the web that perhaps IREN was mining Bitcoin to fund their operations, or to fund their nefarious operations, whatever you want to call it. And as a result of the strikes, that was quite a lot of hash rate coming offline because of it. I don't know if that's the case. I think some might have been maybe fearful for the price of electricity maybe to go up or something like that, and that's why kind of maybe I don't know. We'll find out what happens here, but it has recovered a little bit here, but not back to the prior highs where we've been. All right. Dynamite says all the Ethereum bag holders were hyping up stablecoins as use case that will push ETH up higher, but it turns out Circle is the real winner. Circle has done fantastic. I mean, phenomenally well out there. If you guys bought into that one, congrats. Gary's got a question. Do you think it's strange that immediately after Trump's sons buy a Bitcoin mining company, their father bombs a nuclear site? Immediately we have large drop in hash rate. I mean, you can probably maybe, connect the dots possibly by that. I don't know, but it's a nuclear site. Wasn't it actually like a nuclear? It wasn't. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I might be wrong on this, but I thought it wasn't a nuclear like energy site where they're actually making energy from the nuclear. I thought it was just like a nuclear enrichment site or something like that. But I could be wrong on that. That's why I don't know about that. All right. H says, I can't remember what country it was, but I saw something they have to stop mining Bitcoin. Stop mining Bitcoin good for U.S. miners. No, yeah, I mean, anybody that turns off their miners is going to have an impact on the hash rate, right? So the hash rate goes down. That's going to make it more profitable for the miners that are mining right now, because it'll eventually have the difficulty decrease, which then means that the miners that are still mining are going to have more BTC being mined, basically. Okay, so as long as price stays where it's at and price doesn't drop down, they'll be making more. Metaplanet says, did you see the global BTC hash rate? Yeah, like 687. Yep, definitely came down here, but that's on the daily, right? That can change. They can ebb and flow. They can go up and that can go down. I like to look at like the 30-day average to see where it's at, more or less. On daily, we do see these fluctuations. We can actually take a look at it here. Let me see, where do I have it? I have it here. So let's go back here. All right. See, so here's the daily. We're on the 1 year here. All right, so yeah, it came down to like right there, 672 exahash on it. This is on 21st. This was yesterday, but that came down for sure. I mean, we hit a high here of 1,066 exahash here. This was on June 9th. And then if you look at the 30-day average, it's been kind of flat, more or less. Went up to 908 exahash, and it's been coming down here, going kind of sideways here to 899 exahash. So But more or less on the daily, you're going to have these kind of spikes and bottoms and things like that. We're not too far off from where we were, just not too far away in April. Right? So I think people are making it more than what it really is right now. I mean, if this continues to where it's at, like 700 exahash, that's going to be great for the miners that are mining right now, in the United States especially, with Bitcoin staying up at around 100,000 as well. All right. Okay, let's go back here, Q&A. Okay, let's see. Talked about that. Okay, sorry, Melon. Another buying opportunity, but nowhere close to an opportunity to sell. This has been a trend for 3 years now. Not sure it's really a buying opportunity. Most of investors are in the red. Red on Bitcoin. I mean, if you were buying 3 years ago, you're probably in the green right now. At least you should be. For the miners, yeah, I mean, the miners, depending when you got into them, I'll agree with you there. You might be in the red still there. So hasn't been easy. What else do I have here? All right. Andre's got a question here. Seb, if BTC hits 200,000, where do you think tomorrow's stock will be? I am so in the red. Thank you. So, Andrea, you must have bought in at a higher price. Obviously, you went probably around the 20s, I'm guessing here. On that one, I think it's going to be, if Bitcoin goes to 200,000, it should be at least like around $40, $50, I would think. Somewhere around there. They have a lot of Bitcoin on the HODL as it is. Operations are above 50 exahash right now as it is. Yeah, they should be valued much higher, and along with the other miners as well. Let's see, question, can you please an interview with Sour Melon Gaming? I would like to get his insights, like where do you see this going? Well, Sour Melon, you could probably talk to him here. I mean, if he wants to come on, maybe we can do something. Mike says, correct about nuke. Okay, yeah, so it was just a nuke enrichment site. So it wasn't an electrical site there. All right. FireX Freak has a question. Do you expect Bitcoin to rally in Q3 or Q4 2025? If so, will publicly traded miners rise in tandem, and has Bitfarms started to decouple from the Bitcoin price? Well, I would say all the miners have decoupled from the Bitcoin price a little bit. Some of them outperform, some of them underperform as well. It all depends. It's like a rotation of things going in and out of these guys here. Do I expect a rally? I would expect a rally to happen in Q3 and Q4. Historically, this is when we've had our rallies. Right, July and August look to be like green months potentially for us. If we look historically in 2021, 2017, 2013, those months in the bull runs were positive. So we should see some gains there on those. If things play out the same way, that doesn't mean that they will, but it's kind of what I'll be looking for. And based on prior cycles, Q3, Q4 is when we have the largest gains to historically. So we'll see. And will the miners rise on that? Yeah, they should rise on that as well. And if Bitcoin goes to 200,000 by the end of the year or close to that, miners should do very well. Okay, let's see. H has founded Norway places temp ban on mining data. I saw that over the weekend too. Yeah, thank you for reminding me about that. I did read something about it, or just saw a blurb about it, that they're banning, I think, Bitcoin miners, right, in general, just for a temporary ban there. So that might be part of it also. All right, RDJ has a question here. Soluna is building out a lot of megawatts with a market cap of 8 million, 24 include 8 million, 24 include debt. This must be a good buy. Thoughts? Soluna, from what I recall, and this is going back a couple months, probably maybe even a quarter or two, from when I looked into them again, the way I understood their structure was they do a lot of these deals with partners. So it's kind of hard to tell what part is theirs, what part is the partners, and that's kind of the way that they've done things going forward. Their new CEO seems to be doing a pretty good job there, getting the company turned around a little bit after we had the bear market. So he seems to be doing pretty good, but I just don't know, can they actually get all that megawatts, right? A lot of the stuff that they're talking about is also electricity that's, I wouldn't say stranded electricity, but they're talking about like solar, they're talking about wind, natural gas, I think, as well, probably flare gas, something like that. They can utilize those sites potentially. So I would have to do some more research on them, more recent research, I guess you could say, to see if they're a good buy. Yeah, I mean, they're only valued at $8 million. There's got to be a reason why, right? What is that reason why? Andre, you're very welcome as always. Let's see. Spin says, good show tonight. Seb, thanks. You're very welcome. Thanks for coming in as always. Sarman says, I have no business going on Seb's live stream. Well, I'm here to listen to Seb. Hey, I'm listening. I'm here to listen to you guys as well. You guys pose questions, post your comments as well. I'm here to listen to you guys. I don't want to be an echo chamber. So I greatly appreciate you guys coming in here, espousing your views as well. Do you think Mara hits $40 in 2025? I think so. As long as Bitcoin goes up to at least like 180, 200,000, something like that, I think we should be able to get to $40 on that one. But we'll see. We got Ryan Buell back up here. Ryan, haven't seen you here in a while, I think. So great to see you again. Shinshi, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. I'm sorry if I'm not. Question, in my opinion, the war will escalate. Sour Melon, can you please record an interview with Sebastian, please, sir? We'll see if he wants to do that. There's going to be some escalation there, but I don't think it's going to go too far. At least I'm hoping it doesn't. We don't need another protracted war that we're in to, change a regime or something like that. See, Shinshi says you have good insights and you are a dedicated investor. You will be doing service to the community. Talking about Sour Melon, I'm open to it. Let's see, Hundo Rick. Okay, let's see, Hundo Rick. Question: do you think Ethereum and Sol Treasury company stocks like SBET and DFDV are good buy and holds for the cycle? That's going to be dependent on what ETH and Sol does, right? Solana. My dad actually brought one to me over the weekend that he was looking into. It was a company, gosh, what was it called? I can't remember the ticker symbol right now. But it was a company that had like 3 different things. They had something about like gummies for energy, it wasn't like anything to do with medicinal marijuana or anything like that, or CBTs. It was just like they had gummies for energy. They had also, oh gosh, some other device. They had like 3 different products, and then they had the Sol strategy of basically a micro strategy for Sol, right? That's kind of what they're trying to be. I'm like, Dad, I don't know. Bitcoin's dominance is increasing here. Can Soluna and Ethereum, go up in value? Yeah, they can go up in value, but would Bitcoin be a better play? Possibly, or Bitcoin proxies? I think that might be the better way, but I don't know. Okay. Question: what is your bullish case for Bitfarms prior to January 2026? Give me some hope. Bullish case is that they land a deal with somebody for the Pennsylvania sites that they have there. What is it called? Scrubgrass. What's the other one? Panther Creek, I think it is the other one. Going off memory here. So if they get something like that, then that would give a nice bump to the stock, I think, at that point. But they need some good stories here happening. All right, Sebastian, what is the lowest you see the stocks going if the pump fails? If the pump fails for Bitcoin, that would not be good. Right? If we go sideways with Bitcoin, miners are going to be just bleeding out eventually, depending where the network hash rate also goes. So if the network hash rate increases while the price stays flat, that's going to generate less and less revenue for those guys there. So that wouldn't be good. Let's see. If we stall under 100,000, if we stall under 100,000, then the miners are going to probably not do very well unless the ones that are still trying to get HPCI deals, those guys get some kind of deals. Then we could see those guys pump. But like Cleanspark is a pure play Bitcoin miner. They would stall out. They wouldn't do well. I don't think. Right? We need Bitcoin to go up in value for them to appreciate in value as well. At that point. Spin Second Serve says, still think BBAI, Big Bear AI is going to move next week, possibly. All right. So, what are your thoughts on Applied? Is it a good entry point right now? Applied has come down from where we have been. Let me see if I can pull it up here really quick on the charts. Oh, where is it at? I want to go. Nope. This one over here. Applied. Let's see. There it is. All right. Here's Applied. So it got to a high of 1542 at 1032 right now. I think it might be not a bad time to possibly start taking a position a little bit. They have a deal with, the CoreWeave there as well. So that's definitely helping things out. Yeah, I think it's up to you, but I think maybe I would have started a little position here if I had the cash to do it. on that one, because it has definitely come way down here from where it's been. That's on the forward chart. Let's look at the daily chart. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's still, well, it's up to you. Take a small position, I guess. Maybe. All right, let's go back here. All right. All right. Taking all bets. How many shares of Bitfarms did Riot sell? They're down to like 14% left of. They had like 19.99% of the shares there. They're down to 14, I think, or 13% now. So they've sold quite a bit here. Several million shares recently. I don't know the exact number there, but I know that they've been selling here. All right. All right. That's it. We're going to call it a day. We'll see where things end up at. Bitcoin's still 101,000 right now. It's not too bad. And then we'll see what the miners do later on this week. We'll see what the markets do. Let's take a quick look at, gosh, where's it at? There it is. I want to take a look at two things. One is, where's my screen? There it is, screen. Crude, right? Crude is going up. So crude is up 1.76%, so it's not too bad, but it has been coming up here. And then we have, this is the NASDAQ futures. Those are down 0.5%, roughly about 0.4. That's not too bad. S&P futures are down just a little bit here, so it's not too bad. Maybe this was a good thing that this happened over the weekend. People had a time to kind of chill out about it, reassess, rethink everything. Gold's down a little bit as well. Not too bad, but gold's still following, it's still following that 50-day simple moving average, so we'll see if it continues to do that. What else do we have here? U.S. 30-year notes, bonds are up a little bit here, but still nowhere near where we were. DXY, that's the US dollar, is up a little bit. Well, we'll see what happens. This week is going to be interesting to see how things play out for sure with everything that's going on. So we will cover it all. We'll talk about it as well, and we'll look at anything else that we find interesting. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you so much for coming in as always. Love you all, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great week. All right, see ya.